Hello, this is Grandpa again, and I came to wish you a blessed Easter, happy Easter. You can see I have flowers here. Grandma and I, we love flowers so much. The backyard, we always love the flowers, and I'm looking forward to planting some more this coming May. I know Grandma, she had kind of developed an allergy to them, but she loved to stand at the back door and look through the back door and look out to all the flowers. So there's some out there now, but we'll buy some and put a lot of them in, and I do that in remembrance of her. So I have table flowers here this morning, and I'm just talk about them a little bit. Naturally, we have the lilies, which represent, Easter. And Astoria said that in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, when the steel mills were really in full bloom and going strong years ago, they put out so much smut and dirt in the air that it would fall down and everybody would be smutty. But you could go to Lily, put on a white glove, and rub the petals, and you would not get a smudge at all. It was pure. So we think of the lily representing Christ and at Easter time and being pure. So we celebrate this time of the year, celebrate his resurrection, and that he is risen, and because he lives, it gives us the assurance too that we shall live also. I think as we look around from wintertime when it was so dead and dry and barren, that now we get into the spring and lilac bushes are budding, the rose bushes are blooming, or they're coming in with leaves, and the grass is green. In fact, I just cut it this past week. So it's like spring is bursting forth. It's really a sign of the resurrection of nature, and how much more a picture it is of the resurrection of Christ. So that's good. I remember when I was about 4 years old, dandelions were coming. My dandelions are blooming. We have to pluck them up. But I went out as a 4-year-old boy and picked up just a nice, I can still see me doing this, nice big bouquet of dandelions. Came in and gave them to my mother. And she was really excited. Her little son loved her, and she thought it was probably the best bouquet she had ever gotten. She was really pleased. I remember that. I remember when I was in the grade school, these daisies here, I want to talk about them. Boys and girls would have crushes on each other, and puppy love stuff. And so we would grab a daisy and we would see if this girl liked us. So we'd start off and we'd pull the petal and said, she loves me, she loves me not. She loves me, she loves me not. And you just kept going all the way down until you got to the end, and you hope the last one comes out, she loves me. If it didn't, you kind of really felt crushed. That was kind of a school thing that we did with flowers. I bought this flower, this rose, and I think this rose representing Christ, the rose of Sharon. And the way they make perfume is to crush roses, and they give off their great aroma. They say there are certain roses, if you crush them, you can smell them a mile away. But God permitted his son, the rose, special rose of heaven, to be crushed on the cross for us, so that one day we could live with him. So I think of that, and especially at this time. I like sunflowers. Sunflowers have a nature within them that God put within them, that they will start in the morning looking at the sun, and they will follow and track that sun all day long till evening. Then at nighttime, they'll reposition themselves to be ready for the sun again in the morning, and then they will track the sun for 8 hours or all day long until it gets to the end, and then they revert back. A nature that God put within them. I thought, oh, how we should hunger after Christ, the risen Lord, and that we track the S-O-N, Son of God, who gave to us, and we track him and follow him, and let him live in our lives all day long. So we need to bloom and blossom for Christ. That's kind of the thought I want to give to you. the story is told of a lovely flower. Now, it wouldn't be this one, but we're going to use this one because it's not a climbing flower. That's a chrysanthemum. But we're going to use this to say, represent the story I want to tell you. There was a flower that grew up on this side of this stone wall. It just grew and climbed and found an opening and went through the stones and came out, and it bloomed and blossomed on the other side. On the other side, another house, there was this lonely person who would go out every day and sit on a bench. They'd lost their loved ones. They were by themselves. They were discouraged. And this went through the wall, clung to the wall, and then began to bloom and blossom. It brought great joy and great peace to that person. And it was a good thing. We've been given new life through Christ, so we should bloom where we are planted. Let's represent this one right here representing us. I got it yesterday, the head was up, so we'll just say, when you feel down, just tilt your head. But anyway, wherever you're at, we're going to talk about you blooming where you are planted. When I think of, I said, well, I can't do much in life. I don't encourage many people, but little is much, no matter what little you do to help them and encourage them. Some plants are in well-traveled gardens. Shirley and I went to Portland, Oregon back in the 60s. Beautiful rose garden, hundreds of roses. Well-traveled, people really enjoyed them. But there was those probably pathways of life where there's just a few flowers planted. Perhaps you're just on a kind of think of a back road of life, but you're planted there. Blossom. Somebody is going to get joy and uplift from your life. And that's why God uses us to encourage, whether with well-traveled paths or seldom-traveled paths. We find we need to be planted. A seed in a packet does no good. It just stays there. But we need to take out and plant it and let it grow for Christ. A flower, when it grows, it needs three things. It needs good, nourishing ground. And we find nourishment by planting ourselves in God, letting Him work through our lives. It also needs moisture and to grow. It needs water. Have to put water in this vase to keep them blooming. And the Word of God is like the water of life to us, and it nourishes us and sustains us. Also, we find that a flower needs light, like the sunflower followed the sun. We need the light, S-O-N, of Christ in our lives to follow Him and let Him flow through us and bloom through us. Here's my little poem I wrote. I said, some flowers are red, some flowers are blue. The flower I am for Jesus, blooming, faithful, and true. So I just wanted you to know that we can do that. So the last thing I want to share is these white roses right here. These white roses right here, they bless me each and every day I look at them. Just a few months before Grandma passed, she built or put together about it. It's in a nice metal vase, and it sits beside the fireplace. And she has sprigs of different colors, but this she put in the center. And I remember why she did it. It had a special meaning to her. And I look at that, and I lifted it out. I'll put it back. And I remember why she did it. And I look at it, and it's like she still is alive, still there, still present. So when we think about our lives and flowers having meanings, if we bloom for Christ, if we bloom for Him, bloom where we're planted, you're going to affect somebody's life. That's probably one of the reasons why you're on the face of this earth, is to be a blessing to others. So, bloom where you're planted, and God will give you the nourishment and the strength to do that, as a flower needs nourishment and strength. So I just stopped by to say Happy Easter. Lord bless you. and we'll get together at Christmas time. Okay, talk to you later.